Alright, so we are going to talk about graphing horizontal shift. That is the D. We have been working with A, B, and C. Yesterday was just setting up the graphs for D, so now we're actually going to graph. So our period doesn't change. It's still 2 pi over B. We are going to make a scale by dividing into 4 parts. We are going to start counting from the shift D. So that is the new part. We're not always going to start at 0 now. We're going to start at D and then go 5 points after that, or 4 points after that. So there'll be a total of 5 tick marks, because remember there's 4 intervals. So when you are subtracting D, it moves to the right, and we are adding D, it moves to the left. So it kind of flips the signs, like all equations do when it's by the x. And then you are going to do your C, which is starting at your new middle, and then you go up and down your amplitude. Okay? So we are going to graph this one first. So our period, so the B is now in the number in front of the parentheses. Like this one, the number is 2. That's your B. So this is just going to be 2 pi over 1, which is 2 pi. So my scale divides by 4, so it becomes pi over 2. My amplitude is the number in front of the sign, which is 1, and my new middle is 1. So now the starts at is here. So remember up here, it's going to, if it's adding, you move to the left. So we are going to start at negative pi. Because it's plus, so I change the sign. Now, what you need to do, makes life easier, is you need to put this one and this one in the same denominator. Okay? So this one is like over 1. So in order to make the same, I'm going to multiply by 2 to get negative 2 pi over 2. So you want your scale and your starts at to be the same denominator. So then when I'm counting, so now instead of always going to the right, I might have to go to the left because I'm starting at negative 2 pi over 2. So negative pi over 2, negative 2 pi over 2. So now this is my new starting point. My new middle is at 1. So that is my new starting point right there. Okay? It's a little bit confusing. So my amplitude, so here's 1, so I go up to 2 and down to 0. So it's sine, so that means I start at the middle. Oh, I haven't finished my graphing. So that's 1, 2, and this is 0. 1, 2, 3, and then I need to do pi over 2 and 2 pi over 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it does say graph 2 cycles. 3 pi over 2, 4 pi over 2, 5 pi over 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I need one more, so 6 pi over 2. So, sine, and it's plus in front of the sign, so that means I go up. Did I miss one? Oh no, because there's this one over here. Alright, so there is my 2 cycles. So sine, my first cycle goes here. My next one goes up and then down and ends here. So now what we did is we shifted the graph up 1. That's what we've been working with in the past week. But now we moved it to the left. Okay? So I took this D and I put it here. You have to change the sign, so it became negative pi. But then to make life easier, I am going to make these the same. I'm counting by 1 pi over 2, but I need to start at negative 2 pi over 2. So that's why I had to start to the left. Okay, so let's do that again. This is, remember, level 3, so it is it's the hardest because there's a lot going on, and that D shift is really complicated. So here is our period is 2 pi over 2, which is pi. So my scale is pi over 4. And I start at pi over 4. So they're the same. So I didn't have to do anything different. My amplitude is 1, and my new middle is negative 1. So now I go to my graph. So here's my pi over 4, and that is my new, sorry, it's lunch, my new starting point. I'm only going to graph 1 cycle because I don't think I have enough room for do 2. My scale is pi over 4, so every 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, I think I do have enough spots. I'll just have to go really small here. 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4, 8 pi over 4, and 9 pi over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My new middle is at negative 1. Of course, it has to be down here, and amongst everything, and I go up to 0 and down to negative 2 because I go up 1, down 1 because that's my amplitude. It is a cosine in positive, so that means I need to start high. So I start at 0. And I know I'm kind of going over all of my scale, but that's okay, as long as I can kind of see it. 1 cycle, 2 cycles. Cosine positive starts high, so high, middle, low, middle, high, middle, low, middle, high. All right, let's do a couple more, because these are really complicated, so I want to make sure we get enough practice in. So period 2 pi over 2, so that's pi, so my scale is pi over 4. I start at pi over 2. So in order to get them the same, I need to multiply by 2 to get 2 pi over 4. So that's where I start, and then you count pi over 4 after that. So my amplitude is going to be 3, because that's my A. My new middle is 2. So I'm only going to graph 1 cycle this time. So I go up 1, 2, 3, so I go up to 5, down 1, 2, 3, and negative 1. So that is my amplitude and my new middle. Now I start at 2 pi over 4. Now you can count on here or you can count here, it does not matter. I need to go in between. So this is pi over 4 and 2 pi over 4. So this is now my new starting point, 2 pi over 4, and now my scale is pi over 4, so I go from pi over 4 after that. So that's 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, 3, 4, and then 6 pi over 4. Remember, 5 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and there's 4 sections, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so sine starts in the middle, and it's positive, so it goes up. So all the differences between 1 cycle and 2 is literally this. And all you would have to do is 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 pi over 4. So it just gets a little bit tricky when they're so small and trying to get all those little 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4 all in there. Okay? So I want to see if you guys can pause it. The parentheses should be here, sorry. So there's the 2 should be on the outside. See if you can pause it and do it, and then we will check it with me after you. Alright, so here is my work at the beginning. My period is pi, my scale is pi over 4, and I start at negative pi, which that means I have to multiply it by 4 top and bottom, so I can get negative 4 pi over 4. My new middle is 3, and my amplitude is 2. So here's how I set it up. My new middle is 3. I go up 2, down 2. So go up to 5, down to 1. I went backwards pi over 4 to get to negative pi over 4. And then 3, 2, 1, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So cosine negative starts down. So there is my graph with 1 cycle. Remember, if it was 2 cycles, it wouldn't be much different. I just would keep going. And then the only tricky part is trying to do all of these. So this is pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, and 4 pi over 4. Because those were all negatives. I don't know if you can see all my negatives, but they're there. Okay? So that is graphing A, B, C, and D. You have your homework is 17.3.2 worksheet. So use this video, rewatch it if you need to. Otherwise, go for your assignment.